You're fasting perfectly. Not a single calorie touches your lips. You're doing everything by the book. And yet, your body is acting like you just ate a full meal. Your insulin is spiking. Your fat burn has stopped dead in its tracks. And the worst part? You have no idea it's happening. There's a silent insulin trigger hiding in your fasting routine that's sabotaging everything, and 90% of people who fast make this exact mistake. The good news? Once you know what it is, you can fix it in 10 seconds flat. Let me show you. Before we start, quick reminder. Always consult a healthcare professional before making drastic changes to your diet or exercise routine. Everyone's body is different, and what works for most people might need tweaking for you. Look, I've seen this play out 1,000 times. Someone commits to fasting. They're motivated, they're disciplined, they skip breakfast, maybe even lunch. They're drinking water, black coffee, feeling like a warrior, and then nothing. The scale doesn't move. The belly stays put, and they start questioning everything. Here's what's happening. Your body doesn't just respond to food, it responds to signals. And insulin, that hormone everyone talks about, it's not just about what you eat. It's about what you think you're getting away with. Think of insulin like a nightclub bouncer. His job is to decide who gets in and who stays out. When you eat carbs or protein, insulin opens the doors wide and lets all that energy into your cells. Great. But here's the problem. When insulin is on duty, fat burning is off duty. They don't work the same shift. Ever notice how a bouncer won't let anyone in while he's dealing with trouble at the door? Same thing. When insulin is elevated, your body literally cannot access stored fat for energy. Now, most people think, okay, Kong, I get it. I won't eat. Problem solved. And that works until it doesn't, because you're triggering insulin without even knowing it. So what's the mistake? It's stress. Not the, I'm worried about my job, kind of stress, although that doesn't help either. I'm talking about the physical stress you're putting on your body while fasting. And the biggest culprit, intense exercise during your fasting window. Stay with me here. You wake up, you're 16 hours into your fast. You feel like a champion, so you decide to crush a HIIT workout or go beast mode at the gym. Sounds smart, right? You're burning calories, building muscle, optimizing fat loss. Except your body sees it differently. When you push hard during a fast, your body goes into alarm mode. It releases stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline to give you energy. But here's the kicker. Those stress hormones tell your liver to dump glucose into your bloodstream. And guess who shows up to manage all that glucose? Our friend insulin. The bouncer's back on duty. And fat burning. It just clocked out. You didn't eat a single calorie, but your insulin spiked anyway. Your body thinks you're under attack, so it prioritizes survival over fat loss. And that's why the scale isn't moving. You've been fasting clean, but you've been stressing dirty. Honestly, it's one of the most frustrating things I see. Guys doing everything right on paper, but they're sabotaging themselves with the timing and intensity of their workouts. Let me explain this like I'm talking to my buddy at the gym. Your body is basically a very old, very paranoid survival machine. It doesn't know you're trying to look good for summer. It doesn't care about your abs. It cares about keeping you alive. When you fast, your body eventually switches to fat burning mode, but it takes time to trust that this is safe. The moment you introduce a major stressor, like an intense workout, your body panics. It thinks, oh no, we're being chased by a tiger and we haven't eaten. This is bad. Release the emergency glucose. Your liver is like a cautious grandma who keeps extra cash hidden under the mattress. The moment she senses danger, she pulls it out. That cash is glucose stored as glycogen in your liver. And when it floods your bloodstream, insulin rises to deal with it. The result? You just broke your metabolic fast, even though you didn't break your caloric fast. Your body stopped burning fat and started managing sugar. All that discipline, all that hunger you pushed through, and you're back at square one because of a workout. Sound familiar? But here's where it gets even more interesting. It's not just about working out too hard. It's about when you're working out and how long you've been fasting. If you're doing extended fasts, like 24 or 36 hours, your body is already in a delicate state. Your glycogen stores are low. Your cortisol is naturally elevated because fasting itself is a mild stressor. Now you throw in a brutal workout, you're pouring gasoline on a fire. I've seen guys do a 48-hour fast and then go run 10 miles or do an hour of CrossFit, and they wonder why they feel like garbage afterwards, why their cravings go through the roof when they finally eat, why they end up binging and erasing all their progress. It's because their bodies were screaming for fuel, they ignored the signals, and then insulin and cortisol got into a screaming match inside their bloodstream. Not pretty. Alright, so what do we do about this? Because I'm not telling you to stop working out, exercise is crucial, but we need to be smart about it. First, match your workout intensity to your fasting state. If you're deep into a fast, 16 plus hours in, keep your workouts light to moderate. Think walking, yoga, light resistance training. Save the heavy lifting and high-intensity stuff for when you're fed. I know. You want to maximize fat burn by working out fasted, I get it. But here's the truth, you don't need to suffer to see results. A brisk 30-minute walk, while fasted, will keep you in fat-burning mode without spiking cortisol and insulin. You'll actually burn more fat over time because you're not constantly interrupting the process. Second, if you love your intense workouts and you're not willing to give them up, schedule them right before you break your fast. Do your HIIT session or your heavy squats in the last hour of your fasting window. Then eat. Your body will use that post-workout insulin spike productively, shuttling nutrients into your muscles instead of just managing stress hormones. Third, and this is huge, sleep. If you're not sleeping well, your cortisol levels are already elevated, you're walking around in a semi-stressed state all day. Add fasting and intense exercise on top of that, you're asking for trouble. Prioritize 7-8 hours of quality sleep. It's not sexy, but it's the foundation of everything. Look, I know this isn't what you want to hear. You probably thought, more effort equals better results. And in a lot of areas of life, that's true. But your body doesn't reward you for grinding it into the ground. I've been there. I've done the 20-hour fasts followed by 2-hour gym sessions. I felt tough. I felt disciplined. But I also felt exhausted, irritable. And the fat wasn't coming off the way I expected. Because I was fighting my biology. The Kong lifestyle isn't about suffering. It's about working with your body, not against it. It's about being smart, not just being tough. Think of it this way, your body is like a business partner. If you treat it well, communicate clearly, and respect its needs, it'll work with you to achieve your goals. But if you constantly push it, ignore its signals, and demand more than it can give, it's going to resist. It's going to hold on to fat as a survival mechanism. It's going to make you miserable until you listen. Now, before you go thinking intense workouts are the only silent insulin trigger, let me throw a few more at you. Because this rabbit hole goes deeper. Artificial sweeteners. Yeah, I said it. Some of them, not all, but some, can trigger an insulin response even though they have 0 calories. Your tongue tastes something sweet, sends a signal to your brain, and your brain tells your pancreas, get ready, sugar's coming. Insulin gets released, and boom, you're out of fat-burning mode. Stress, the mental kind, chronic worry, anxiety, lack of sleep. All of it keeps cortisol elevated, which keeps insulin higher than it should be. You can fast perfectly and work out smartly, but if you're stressed 24/7, you're still blocking fat loss. Certain medications. If you're on any prescription drugs, especially for blood pressure or mental health, check with your doctor. Some of them affect insulin sensitivity or blood sugar regulation. Not saying you should stop taking them, but it's worth knowing so you can adjust your approach. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Fasting works. It's one of the most powerful tools for fat loss and metabolic health. But it's not a free pass to do whatever you want during your fasting window. Your body is always listening. It's always responding. And if you're sending mixed signals, stressing it out with intense workouts, pounding caffeine, not sleeping, it's going to protect itself. It's going to hold on to fat because it thinks you're in danger. The fix is simple. Match your activity to your fasting state. Keep intense workouts for fed states or right before you eat. Prioritize sleep and stress management. And for the love of everything, stop trying to punish your body into submission. You want the gorilla mind? The Kong lifestyle? It's not about being the hardest on yourself. It's about being the smartest. So there it is. The silent insulin mistake that's been stopping your fat burn even when you're doing everything else right. Fix the timing. Fix the intensity. And watch your body finally start cooperating. I know timing your workouts around fasting can feel complicated, so I've pinned a simple guide in the first comment that breaks down exactly what to do at 12, 16, and 24+ hours fasted. Grab it before your next session. And if this helped you avoid a fat loss mistake, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. You've got this. Stay focused on the carcass. I'll see you in the next one.